What's going on, guys? It's Redleg. Coming up on tonight's show, we'll pay tribute to Specialist Hilda Clayton, who died several years ago in Afghanistan. Also, we'll talk about what's going on in Texas today, and we'll cover some other current events. And maybe a little bit later in the show, we'll have an opportunity to play some games. Everybody stick around. The Monday edition starts right now. What's up, boys and girls? Welcome to the Monday edition on WTF Nation Radio. Hey, how's it going? I'm your host, Redleg, and I'm joined tonight by Pooky, who you may have heard Pooky before. Maybe. Especially if you've tuned in on Saturday to J-Ready's show. And Flash, who you haven't heard before here on WTF Nation Radio. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
I'm definitely glad to be here. It's refreshing.
Yeah, I'm glad to still be alive right now. Because the day I've had, I was really concerned that my head was going to explode, which would have resulted in my immediate death. But somehow I made it.
Semantics.
It's semantics. And Mom's here also. Let's not leave Mom out. She's lurking around in the background.
Hey, y'all.
We don't want to forget you.
Oh, it's okay.
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about tonight, now that we've gotten our introductions out of the way, is, excuse me, I'll unprofessionally clear my throat on the air, is by now some of you undoubtedly have seen the photographs that were recently released showing the mortar tube explosion that claimed the lives of Specialist Hilda Clayton and 4 Afghan soldiers nearly 4 years ago. Specialist Clayton was a photographer, and before I get too far into this, I'll throw some photographs up. So those of you who have not seen the pictures can. And this is these pictures. It's hard to describe the emotions that something like this evokes, because it's showing the moment that several people died. Nearly 4 years ago, this is on July 2nd, 2013, Afghan soldiers were conducting a live fire training exercise in eastern Afghanistan when this accidental blast occurred. This was according to the Army's Military Review Journal. Specialist Clayton was a visual information specialist attached to the 4th Armored Brigade Combat Team, the 1st Cavalry Division. She was capturing images as part of the Army training mission of certifying Afghan soldiers on mortar operations. She was 22 years old. She was training an Afghan combat photographer while documenting the mortar training. Clayton and the Afghan photographer were up close getting pictures of the mortar operations when a mortar tube accidentally exploded right in front of their lenses. Clayton, the Afghan Army photographer, and 3 other Afghan soldiers were killed in the accident. Photos were recently published in the May-June edition of the Army's Military Review Journal. Not only did Clayton help document activities aimed at shaping and strengthening the partnership, but she also shared in the risk by participating in the effort, reads an article accompanying the photos in the journal. Clayton was a member of the 55th Signal Company at Fort Meade, Maryland, where her name has been engraved into the Hall of Heroes at the Defense Information School. She attended the school, graduating in 2012. Clayton's unit has honored her by naming its annual competition the Hilda I. Clayton Best Combat Camera Competition in her memory. The accident marked the first death of an Army combat documentation and production specialist in Afghanistan. An official from the Army University Press told Stars and Stripes that Clayton's family and her unit approved the Army's release of the photos. I guess this just goes to show that it clearly demonstrates the inherent risk in being a soldier, regardless of your MOS. There's always a possibility in any job, in any walk of life, and in everyday life, for you to meet an untimely death. But in the United States Army, let's be blunt about things here, whose job is to take the fight to the enemy and destroy them, those risks are greatly increased. So again, we remember our own, or we try to here at every chance we get, and by putting on that uniform and taking that oath, Specialist Clayton was one of our own. So I just wanted to take a moment here at the beginning of the show to do something to remember her.
So those pictures, it hit home. It does hit home with I come from the public affairs community. It took the MPAD commander, her old commander, to actually get those pictures out there. And I can tell you, because they've been going around in several of our 46 Quebec and Romeo and 25 Victor circles. They're both breathtaking and horrifying at the same time. Because the scary part is, we've all been there. I mean, there are those that like to keep a good distance away. But when I was in Afghanistan, Korea, Germany, the Baltics, even on the training range, we the good ones. Like Mike, who we had on the show not too long ago, we'll try to get up close, because that's where the magic lives. You can't get the great reactions, the real truth of what we're doing in faraway pictures. So I look at those pictures and I remember how many times with mortar carrier, I've been on top of mortar carrier, like right next to the mortar tube. I've worked with different countries' tanks and mortars and all explosives and stuff like that. It's scary how, it's a shame. And she is in the Hall of Heroes. I actually have seen her already, or I've seen her picture there. But it's scary how anything could just happen. And you don't, for public affairs folks, that doesn't really cross your mind very often, because you assume everything's gonna be fine. But it's both scary and intriguing how quickly that can just change.
Anytime you get the opportunity to find yourself in close proximity to high explosives, you're putting yourself at risk. It is a risk that all of you, those of you who are on active duty, like I no longer am, it's a risk that you willingly take it. In the interest of the defense of your country, and I guess it's interest if you want to get into politics, but I don't. It was always, as an artilleryman, it was always in the back of my mind that something in this 155 millimeter howitzer could let loose at any point, and this whole operation could end in a giant bang, and I never would have known the outcome. And it's evidenced in these pictures. You can see the Afghan soldiers that are firing the mortar tube during the explosion. They're going through the correct motions of the operation of that weapon. It just shows how quickly something like this can happen. The pictures, nearly 4 years old. Again, the family, Specialist Clayton's family, in her unit, approved the release of these photographs. And I think it helps tell part of the story of not only Specialist Clayton and that particular instance, but, it's just the story of the United States Army as a whole, and the types of things that we face, that you face, not we, because I'm out of here since 98. Off active duty, but it helps illustrate the story that doesn't get told that often. Jose says a tube blew off in Afghanistan in 2009 on a 777. That's a scary thing, man. That's a lot of explosives. So, let's not forget there are other people who are exposed to danger just as much as everybody who's out there on the bleeding edge. So if I was still a drinking man, which I'm not, I'd have a drink right now for Specialist Clayton, but you guys are going to have to settle for coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee at work.
I'll drink one for her.
There you go. Pooky's going to drink one for her. Alex, thanks for the. I saw it. Don't think that I didn't see your compliment on my eyebrows, and my eyebrows are on point today. I appreciate that. I do absolutely nothing to them. They
Lies.
woke up like this. I'm not lying, dude. Check my eyebrows out. Look how good
Yeah,
they look.
You straight up stencil them, don't you?
No. We'll, you know what, guys? We'll all get together one day, and we'll sit down, and I'll tell you all of my secrets to how handsome I am. It's natural, though. There's not a whole lot to tell. I'm just this good looking.
I just want to get my head to be as shiny as yours.
Well, that's all in the lighting. I have the lighting to thank for that.
When I used to shave my head, it looked like their legs.
Yeah, Pookie's not shaving anything for the past few years, it looks like. I've seen this dude. My wife does not plug my... Listen, I appreciate everybody's admiration of my eyebrows. I really do. They're all natural.
Oh, man. Buy that man a drink.
Jeez.
That's awesome.
Hello, Casey. Hi, Faith. I see you. It's going down in Texas, everybody. What the hell is in the water in Texas today? Yeah, Stephen, I was just lamenting the fact that today has not been a very cool Monday at all. Terrible. For a host of reasons, not the least of which includes what's happened in Texas today. Where to start? By now, a lot of you have seen it, I'm sure, on the news. Let's go to Dallas first, where a man suspected of shooting and critically injuring a paramedic who was tending to a shooting victim has been found dead in a Dallas home, ending a threat that locked down the neighborhood for hours. A police robot found... Let me show you guys something real quick before I continue. All right, we're talking about Dallas, and we're talking about a police robot. I want you to see the shirt I got on. Hold on, I'll stand up. Or kind of. So you can see my shirt. Let me move my microphone out of the way. It's the Dallas Police Department Employee of the Month shirt. It's a robot. You guys remember the dude that was sniping all the cops in Dallas, and they sent a robot in laden with explosives to blow his ass up? Well, this shirt came out.
That guy's a hero.
This shirt came out right after that, and the names of the officers, the 5 officers, are right here, and I know you can't see it. This shirt came out not long after that, and it was a fundraiser, and I bought one. And I just unplugged my headphones. I can't hear shit now. Okay, here we go. It was terrible. I bought one. A friend of mine bought one. We bought them immediately, and I sport it every once in a while. I like to wear it out in public.
Trigger.
Yeah, yes, because you know.
Yes.
Fuck your feelings, everybody who hates on the cops. They got a job to do. Anyway, okay, let me get back to the story. Yeah, robot smoked him, indeed.
Dallas is wilding out.
The police robot found 2 bodies in a home east of downtown, including that of the suspected gunman, as authorities scoured the neighborhood following the shooting. This according to Dallas Mayor Mike Rawlings. He said the threat to the neighborhood was now over. Interim Police Chief David Pugh said it's believed the shooting started as a dispute between the suspected gunman and the victim, whom emergency responders were trying to help on the street. Forgive me, please, if my dinner's trying to come up. Pugh said that the 2 were neighbors. Now, so there's a shooting victim the paramedics are tending to. That was what initially was reported to the officers on the scene, that it was just a simple dispute between 2 neighbors that escalated into a shooting. Authorities said as emergency responders treated the civilian who'd been shot, another person approached, opened fire, and critically injured the paramedic. A second person also was found dead in the home, though no details have been released about that person. Rawlings said the paramedic underwent surgery and was in intensive care in critical but stable condition at Baylor University Medical Center. The mayor said the paramedic will have to undergo extensive medical treatment. The mayor said the injured civilian was also in intensive care. No other details about the neighbor or the paramedic, including their names, have been released.
So the paramedic made it.
Yes. Pugh said a police officer was injured during the initial altercation with the suspect and treated at the scene. Dozens of police vehicles swarmed the mostly residential area after the shooting was reported near a local fire training academy. Several people from a nearby neighborhood and some relatives of people who live in the barricaded area gathered at a nearby gas station to await updates from police. The Dallas Police Association tweeted earlier today that officers responding to an active shooter were, quote, pinned down by gunfire. A 33-year-old woman waiting in the shade of a gas station across the street from a police barricade told the Associated Press that her mother lives in the neighborhood and saw SWAT teams arrive. Brenda Salazar said she was headed to the area to visit her mother when she heard about the shooting on the radio. She called her mother, told her she didn't hear any shooting, but saw the SWAT guys and police setting up and going into the neighborhood. Salazar said her mother was okay and was watching the news, but this stuff happens here all the time. Texas Governor Greg Abbott released a statement saying his prayers were going out to all those affected. FBI agents and officers with the ATF were also in unmarked vehicles waiting at intersections in the neighborhood. Officials from the local fire department and parks department passed out water and Gatorade to officers blocking the road. So that's incident number 1 in Texas today. What kind of asshole shoots the paramedics that are treating a shooting victim? You got to be there's a special place in hell reserved for people like that. What a dick.
Why would you shoot a paramedic? That just blows my mind is blown with this whole story.
I had an incident when I was a law enforcement officer in which the paramedics called for police standby. They were in a public park in the city, and apparently there was some sort of gathering going on, and there was some alcohol involved. And anyway, someone had gotten too hot or gotten too drunk, or too hot and too drunk, both, and required medical attention. So, I and my partner, we're standing by, and somebody shows up, boyfriend of the victim who passed out or whatever, and starts getting grabby with the paramedics. And I ended up taking people to jail because the paramedics are trying to assist your loved one. Why? What the fuck? Why? Why interfere with this?
People are assholes.
People are stupid. So don't be
I'll
stupid.
second that.
The moral of the story is don't be stupid.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, in some cities, in the bad parts of towns, paramedics have to wear a bulletproof vest because of the gang shootings and retaliation shootings, and they get shot because, one, they're saving the rival gang member, or two, they just, it's just they're in the crosshairs or crossfire or whatever.
Hello, Jessica. Hi, I see you. Elizabeth says, don't blame alcohol. Oh, I didn't blame alcohol. Not one time did I blame alcohol. I said people are stupid and people are assholes. Not alcohol.
But to shoot a fucking paramedic, man, that just blows my mind, man.
Well, putting your hands on a paramedic in this state is automatically a felony.
Good.
Shooting them, of course, is a felony. This is a good excuse for arming paramedics. I'm torn. I'm torn. Because, next thing you know, it'll be, let's arm the paramedics. Well, now let's arm the firefighters. Now let's arm everybody. And it's the Wild West out there. Well, everybody's pretty much armed anyway, am I right? More or less.
Yeah, well, I was about to say, what about the Second Amendment? It says I have the right to bear arms, so whatever job I'm doing, exactly, I should be able to carry a gun.
I just think it sets a a dangerous precedent when we start arming all public servants. I mean, let's let the cops handle the law enforcement stuff. I mean, and if they need to institute a policy or a practice in which police are to accompany paramedics to every scene, then so be it. But I think the paramedics would be distracted by the fact that they're carrying a firearm instead of doing their jobs.
Yeah, they got other things to worry about, like keeping somebody alive. They don't need to be, where's my, is my weapon still on me? Did I lose it? Is it still there? Oh crap, there's somebody coming after me. It's such a freak thing. Like, I don't know. For me, I don't see it very much in the news. So, I mean, somebody who has law enforcement ties might see it differently, but it seems like such a freak thing. The guy's just a complete asshole. I mean, he just wanted to make sure that he's like, no, don't save the guy. Bang. I mean, it's a dick move to get somebody who's unarmed, especially if you have no beef with them.
You think that was the motive, Flash? I shot this dude with the intention of killing him, and now you're trying to save him, so now I'm going to shoot you too.
I think of like playing Battlefield 1 when you kill somebody and then a medic runs up and you're just like, no.
And then you kill the medic too.
You kill the medic like, no, don't you dare. I don't know. Like, I don't want to make – I feel bad for making light of it. Like, I'm glad the paramedic's okay. It's just I want to know what's going through the guy. Oh, I guess you can't because, somebody decided, I guess he offed himself. Why shoot the paramedic? Why not just like, well, let me go for the kill shot? But why kill the guy just because he's doing his job? That makes no sense to me.
And people wonder why nobody wants to get into public safety anymore. I mean, if you want to be a first responder but you don't want to be a cop, there's really not very many other options. And maybe you don't want to be a cop because you don't want to have to find yourself in a situation where you have to get in a gunfight with somebody, or you have to wrestle somebody down, or the reasons for you not wanting to be a police officer but wanting to be in public safety could be numerous. But who the fuck wants to go be a paramedic in Dallas now that people are shooting paramedics?
No, I see exactly what you're saying with that.
Jeez. I mean, I should just be a stay-at-home mom. Wait a minute. Stay-at-home dad. A stay-at-home dad with no kids. That's my dream job.
I think it's every person's dream job right there.
That's exactly everyone's dream job.
So let's jump on I-35 and head a couple hours south, shall we? From Dallas to Austin, Texas, one person was killed and 3 others were injured in a stabbing attack today on the University of Texas at Austin campus. Now, where is the because we've already got the anti-gun movement, the people who think that the Second Amendment is wrong. Where's the anti-knife? Where's the anti-knife people? Because I seem to recall on several different occasions on my show me saying something to the effect of, well, you take guns away. Anybody who wants to cause harm to anyone else is going to find a way to do it, whether or not the guns are available. So, do we have a knife control issue here? Should we? Or am I just...
Remember when they did that whole, like, hey, Second Amendment can be carried on campus, and, like, you had everyone who was either really happy about it, and then you had the people that said, don't carry guns, carry dildos, and that whole thing. Like, where was the guy with the dildo smacking the guy with the knife? I mean...
There should have been dildos everywhere.
Like, again, I don't want to make light because people died, but, when you have people that make those kind of, like... We're just going to go as stupid as possible because that's how we feel about this. Dildos are better than guns. And then something like this happens, and I'm like, well, hey, maybe if you didn't, like, discourage and, like, ostracize everyone who wanted to conceal carry, maybe this wouldn't have happened because no one was out there with a big black dildo smacking the guy with the knife. I'm just saying.
I don't have the answer, everybody. I don't know. Should everybody have guns? Should nobody have guns?
Everyone should have a big dildo to hit people with. That's what.
Everyone should have a gun.
Should only certain people have guns? I don't have the answer because it's not the guns. There's no fucking gun problem in this country. It's a people problem.
No, that's too hard to people to understand. It's easier for people to go, inanimate object, it kills people. get away with that. Not people are fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, when we start doing shit like, okay, let me ask you guys a question. It's a rhetorical question, but I'm gonna ask it anyways. Which constitutional amendment is constantly being challenged and assailed by the government, other than the Second Amendment? Which other constitutional amendment gets this much attention?
First Amendment.
First Amendment.
So you're telling me that special interest groups and the United States government they're actively going after the First Amendment?
According to recent news, Donald Trump is actually trying to increase the libel laws, which means if I write something that is incorrect or it makes somebody look bad or whatnot, right now you have to have like real proof. Like I have to be like, Donald Trump is a pedophile. Like I have to say something really outrageous for that to apply. And if you look at a lot of the news, some people like to stretch, like they like to live on the edge of that. Donald Trump now wants to expand that to the point where if he doesn't like something, and then in case next presidents go on, as long as World War III doesn't happen, we'll blow up. The next president or even Donald Trump can go, I don't like that, and sue MSNBC, Fox, or whatever newspaper for libel. So and then you have the college campuses that, like what is it, Anna Couture, whatever her name is, that was trying to speak in Berkeley. I don't care what the blonde crazy person has to say, but as a journalist and public affairs person, freedom of speech, let them talk, but we're shutting it down. It's weird. Both the right and the left are finding ways to beat up on the First Amendment, but they don't even know that they're both beating up on the First Amendment.
I have an issue with people's interpretation of the First Amendment. First Amendment affords you the ability to be critical of the government. The First Amendment does not mean you have the right to be a fucking asshole to other people and to constantly shoot your fucking mouth off.
I disagree, man.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree then. The First Amendment gives you the right to be critical of the government without the risk of imprisonment for being critical of the government. It does not mean you get to be an asshole to everybody. So for example, libel. You were talking about libel or slander, whichever the case. In order for that to be illegal, in order for it to be held up in court, there has to be an element of untruthfulness to it. Like I could say, all right, I think that, or not I think, because then we get into opinions. I have to come out and say, Flash fucking sucks off baby goats. There's no truth.
Tell my wife.
There's no truth to that. So sure, that's slanderous, which is what I say, and libel is what's written, but the semantics. That's slanderous. That's also me just being an asshole. That's not covered by the First Amendment. First of all, because I'm not talking about the government. I'm just talking about this dude. But then I say something untruthful about him, which in and of itself is not necessarily a big deal, but it could cause damage to his reputation. That's where libel and slander come into play. I don't think it's a First Amendment issue at all. I think we're talking about we're talking about a violation of civil code. It's not a criminal offense, okay. Or is it?
Okay, so if okay, I can understand your point on that. Maybe not as First Amendment, but what about was it the same thing with the happen? For some reason, Berkeley is just not a great place. Everyone wants to go speak there, but no one can actually speak there.
What a fucking shithole!
You had Milo
Yiannopoulos, yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't subscribe to his kind of craziness, but again, I believe that everyone should have a right to speak, whether you like it or not. But hey, we had all these people lose their minds to the point where they shut it down, and then they still rioted just because they didn't want to hear him speak. Luckily, they didn't do the same thing with the blonde chick that runs around, who actually called on Bill Maher's TV show.
Are you talking about Ann Coulter?
Coulter, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
they shut her Berkeley thing down, and then they went back and forth whether they're going to do it or not. And they're all like, "Oh, we're still going to riot." That to me, that's battling against First Amendment rights,
But
regardless if you don't like to hear them or not. Like if Rachel Maddow can be on TV and Coulter can talk at Berkeley, I mean,
but she
seriously.
doesn't have a constitutional right to go there and speak. She has a constitutional right to be critical of the government of the United States of America. But
she has the right to speak.
Yeah, but she has the right to speak. But nobody says because you want to speak, you're welcome to speak here. There's that's not afforded. That's not a right that's afforded to you by the Constitution.
But shutting her down so she can't speak, isn't that a fight against First Amendment?
No, that's just a bunch of assholes fighting against her because they don't like her stupid face or whatever. I mean, if you don't want to hear, but I guess the moral of the story is, and one thing that we both can agree on is, if you don't want to hear something that somebody has to say, fuck off, turn it off, go away. But I don't necessarily agree that anybody. I think people take that First Amendment thing a little too far. Like you can't go into certain places and just start yelling at the top of your lungs because you think that it's your First Amendment right to do that. Well, there are laws that prohibit you from doing that. Disorderly conduct, disturb of the peace, whatever it is where you are. Yeah, I know there's more to it, Casey, but I guess the point I'm trying to make is the First Amendment does not give you the right to just shoot your mouth off and be a fucking asshole to everybody all the time. At least not my interpretation of it. How about that? Let me qualify my statement by saying that.
So tying back, University of Texas is pretty fucked up.
Was that what we were talking about? Oh yeah,
we were talking about that, and people not beating the guy who had the knife with dildos like they should have been, and I mean, Texas just lost their minds today. Just gone.
Okay, so I'll go on with the story. We went from Texas to dildos to First Amendment. I don't know how that happened.
Big circle around.
One person was killed and 3 others were injured in a stabbing attack today on the University of Texas at Austin campus. Police received a call around 1:50 p.m. for reports of an attack outside of Gregory Gymnasium in East Campus. This is according to UT Austin Police Chief David Carter. Officials identified Kendricks J. White, a 21-year-old UT student, as a suspect in the case, adding no charges have been filed against Mr. White, who is in custody. Really? Carter said White was armed with a hunting knife and was seen walking away from an individual on the ground. Each of the victims was transported to the University Medical Center Brackenridge for treatment. The 4 victims, 3 white males and 1 Asian male between the ages of 20 and 21, are not believed to be connected to each other, Carter said. The police chief could not confirm that incident was related to recent threats made against the university's Greek community or if White was part of any group or possible motivation. More than 25 witnesses are working with the police as the investigation is ongoing. White attended Killeen High School, of course he did, and graduated in 2014. On what appears to be his Twitter account, he says he was a, quote, future doctor studying biology.
Not anymore.
University President Greg Finvez, I should have pre-read this, said the university would actively investigate the stabbings and the classes were canceled for the remainder of today. So, it's interesting to me, first of all, as someone who has a problem with the mainstream media. That would be me. I fucking hate the mainstream media, dude, for a number of reasons. This is one of them. Had this been a white dude running around stabbing black guys, it would have been white male.
Front lines.
Right. But at no point in this article does it make mention of the race of the suspect, only of the victims. It's a black dude.
I didn't notice that.
It's a black dude.
That's a good catch.
Kendricks J. White, a 21-year-old UT student. That's how they describe him. So, and I don't want anybody to think ill of me for saying this, but where's the headline that screams Black student stabs 3 white dudes and an Asian dude. Where's that headline? Doesn't fit the mainstream media's fucking agenda.
Exactly. It don't fit their media agenda. Is exactly what you were saying.
It's terrible.
Kind of surprised Fox News hasn't picked that up.
They will. Somebody's probably on the fucking horn with them right now.
They're still dealing with the Bill O'Reilly fallout, and now they have a co-president who's getting in trouble for the same thing. He's about to get ousted from Fox News. They got their own stuff dealing with over there.
It's gotten so bad that the news stations are now there's news about the news.
Yes, I saw that note today about the co-president from CNN Alert.
What a shitstorm.
They're all happy about it. Like, go Fox, go Fox. Let's see who else can get in trouble.
So 2 terrible incidents today in Texas.
Yep.
One in Dallas and one in Austin, which is Austin is kind of sort of not really Texas as most people know it.
Texas light.
It's a weird fucking like some foreign country in the middle of Texas.
Now, don't forget, in Killeen, they had a big old standoff.
When was this? Today?
This was today, yeah.
Jesus Christ, I don't have that one.
There was a live feed about a domestic incident, and there was a whole standoff, like cops outside the door and whatnot. I saw a little bit on my way to the great state of West Virginia.
This is crazy.
But it's Killeen, so I'm really not that surprised.
Killeen, yeah. Like saying something happened in Fayetteville. You're not shocked at all.
See, the problem that I have with all this shit going on in Texas right now is I got a lot of fucking friends in Texas. Kaz lives in Texas. Mom lives in Texas. Minx lives in Texas. Spanky lives in Texas.
Man, I'm glad I left Texas.
Good God. Get it together in Texas. That's right. They'll build some more prisons. It'll be okay. Texas has fucking got prisons everywhere, man.
Oh, shit.
They got plenty of land for it.
You wanna know some? Well, I was gonna say recently declassified documents, but that's not the right terminology. This is some shit from WikiLeaks. You guys want to hear about this?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, you guys are gonna like this.
I'm down.
I know you are, especially you, Pooky. CIA spooks. This it's gonna be hard for me to read this with a straight face, so bear with me. CIA spooks tried to spy on Soviet Russia using cats implanted with microphones under the skin. Documents show
I've seen this shit. This is legit.
Oh, yeah.
No, this is legit.
Documents show how spy chiefs praised pioneering scientists for slitting open cats and stitching in electronic hardware to uncover their enemies' secrets. Dubbed Project Acoustic Kitty, I'm not making this shit up. The grim $1.3 million program was developed over 5 years in the 1960s as a novel but gruesome new eavesdropping method. A cat's tail was used as an antenna, and a wire traveled all the way up its spine, connecting to a microphone in its ear, while a battery was housed in its chest. I'm not making this shit up. There's actual documents.
No, I can't.
No, kitty, it's my papa.
But on its first test, its CIA handlers watched on in horror as their robo kitty was run over and killed just seconds into the mission. Oh boy!
Is this like from Austin Powers 4? Is this what? Are you guys reading just a screenplay piece?
CIA insider Victor Marchetti told The Atlantic, there they were, sitting in the van, and the cat was dead.
What had happened was
the RoboCat scheme, which was never deployed to the field, resurfaced after WikiLeaks this week tweeted a link to the archived CIA memos, which were first unveiled in 2001. Jesus Christ. This dude says they slit the cat open, put batteries in him, and wired him up. They made a monstrosity. They tested him and tested him. The memo hails the remarkable scientific achievement reached by the American Spy Agency. The work done on this problem over the years reflects great credit on the personnel who guided it, the document concludes. Oh, my God. WikiLeaks has been carrying out a series of staggered releases of hacked info and revealing the CIA's inner workings. The Vault 7 project, slammed by the agency as giving ammo to terrorists, earlier unearthed that WikiLeaks said was evidence that the CIA could hack smart TVs to spy on targets. Well, yeah, we know that.
Shit.
Somebody got an MSM for that project.
Fucking cat. I mean, it's
What stoner came up with that idea?
it's a
Dude,
novel
watch
idea.
This. Let's put an antenna in the cat. They'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want anybody to think I'm a monster. I fucking hate cats.
I hate cats too. It's okay.
So
Cats are evil. I agree with you on that.
I mean,
That's the most useful cat's ever been ever.
how do I say I hate cats and then I say in the same sentence, oh, I hope that fucking cat didn't suffer with all the wires and radios and batteries stuffed inside of it.
Well, because you're not an inhumane bastard. I mean, I do not like cats. I do not like my wife's cats. They do not like me. It's a mutual hatred. It works. But if anything happened to the cats, especially getting ran over like that after having a whole bunch of batteries and wires, I would, I'm trying to say with a straight face, I would feel bad and I would not like that. Like if somebody kicked my cat, I would kick them. But I do hate my cats enough where if they get in my way, I will kick them. So you're just not an inhumane bastard. You just hate cats. It's okay.
Fuck cats. I really don't have any use for cats.
Fuck ketchup.
I mean, there's lots of people. There's a lot of chicks that like cats, and I guess that's cool. I like chicks, so like your
I like pussycats.
cats, I guess it's fine. Just don't try to get me to like your cat. I'm probably not going to. We had I had my sister and my mom had cats when we were growing up. And I guess I tolerated them. I didn't have any fucking use for them. I had a dog who died on my 13th birthday, and yeah. So, fuck your cats.
Fuck your cats. Let's get that tattooed.
You guys know Tom Berenger, right? You know him? You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about?
No.
The dude that played what's his name?
He-
in Platoon.
He was in Platoon. He played the sergeant. He
Yeah, the
was
platoon
in
sergeant.
Gettysburg. He
Oh,
played
yeah, I got
General
you.
Longstreet.
What was his name? Silas? Is that what it was? Or some shit in Platoon?
He was also in Sniper.
Yeah, true story.
Love that movie.
So he's gonna receive the GI Choice Award during this year's GI Film Festival in Washington D.C. He'll be an honored guest throughout the event, which runs May 24th through 28th. We'll screen more than 50 films over its final 4 days. It's also fitting that Berenger has at least one other stop in his itinerary for his trip to the nation's capital. He's planning to participate in the Rolling Thunder motorcycle ride May 28th, the day after his award presentation during the festival's cinematic salute to the troops. Next up, he's going to star in the World War II drama Wonderland, or probably like Wunderland, because it's spelled W-N-D-E-R. It's a feature film that began as a short by director Luke, something I can't pronounce. Looks like maybe Schutzel. So I can't do with the German stuff. I'm no good.
He also starred in my favorite sports movie, Major League. Don't forget that.
Yes. So he's gonna be in another feature length film coming up soon. Wunderland. Yes, he's an actor. So good on Tom Berenger. I like that dude. He's
Tom
good.
Berenger's the man.
You know who else I like is Ed Harris. Have you guys seen Westworld, the new one on HBO, the series?
I
No,
actually started
I
watching
haven't downloaded that yet.
Yeah, go watch that, dude. It's good.
Yeah, I watched like maybe 3 of the episodes of it, and I got into it. I'm getting into it. That seems legit.
Yeah, it's good. But Mrs. Redleg and I watched the entire first season. It's great. You know what? The second season's not going to be out till like next year, though. It's weird. Oh yeah, does it? Oh no. It's not. His name wasn't Barnes, was it? What the fuck? Now I got to go look for Tom Berenger's character's name in Platoon? I said Silas, but
No, Silas was William Dafoe's character.
oh yeah. Was it Barnes? Is it Barnes?
I think it was
Might
Barnes.
have been.
Hold on, I'm
Gruber
bringing it
says
up
it's
right now.
Barnes. I think he's right. Oh, you're gonna pull it up, okay?
Yeah, I got it coming up. Let's see. Yep, Silas was William Dafoe. Tom Berenger was Sergeant Barnes.
Okay, all right. I stand corrected. I like.
And Platoon had a whole bunch of big name people. In case
Yes.
you didn't know.
True story.
Holy crap! Like it is, like they were stacked. I mean, you got Keith David, Forrest Whitaker, of course William Dafoe, Charlie Sheen before Tiger's Blood. Johnny Depp was in it.
Pip doesn't like him. He's not a self-centered dick bag. Pip, come on, man.
And don't forget John McGinley. He was all big old suck up. I love him.
Shit. I liked Willem Dafoe's character. I think everybody did. And then they left him to die after Barnes shot him. What a dick.
What a dick.
What a dick. Now I'm starting to turn against him. Like Pip. Pip doesn't like him. Now I don't like him because he killed fucking Willem Dafoe. Or trying
Well, then
to,
watch
and then he left him.
watch Gettysburg, where he was a total badass throughout the whole movie, with starring with Martin Sheen and everything.
Oh my God! I thank you everybody for correcting me on that. I know the movie. The fucking Facebook live feed must be way behind tonight, so I'm getting comments that are fucking. Well, that's not good. Because if we're gonna do any party games tonight, which it's up to the listening and viewing audience as to whether or not you guys want to do any quiplash and fucking espionage and stuff. But if we're gonna do that, I'm gonna have to restart all this crap because apparently there's a long delay. And I gotta have a drink of this. I finished my coffee. I've had so much caffeine today. It's insane.
Caffeine's the devil, man.
You know, at work, a dude brings. Has anybody had these chocolate covered coffee beans?
Yes. Yes.
They're delicious, and then you poop them out. It's great.
Oh, I love those things.
I eat those, dude. I have a 16-ounce NOS energy drink every morning. First thing. That's fucking poison in a can. I know. It's terrible for you. And then at work, I have some coffee beans.
Coffee beans.
Right, chocolate-covered coffee beans. And then sometimes one of the guys at work will throw me a Mountain Dew because, like today, I was wigging out. I was having a bad day. I was freaking out. I was yelling at people and losing my shit. And he's like, "Here you go, man. Have a Mountain Dew." And I took that as maybe I'm kind of being an asshole to everybody, and I need to settle down a little bit. So I did that. What's Old GI sending me? Oh, Old GI says, where'd he go? He took off. He sent me a message back when we were talking about stuff. He says, yeah, one of the most dangerous jobs in the service. Don't down your part. Okay. All right. Thank you, LGI. I appreciate the sentiment. I don't consider what I did to be especially dangerous. Probably not any more so than anything anybody else did. I mean, unless you want to take into account that I was around a lot of high explosive shit. Anyway. So, yeah, caffeine all fucking day. And I had a cup of coffee when the show started. Now I'm working on a vanilla Coke. And I had a glass of tea also when I came home.
Fancy.
I'm pumped full of fucking caffeine right now. Delicious. Branko says we can play Quiplash on the app if we all play together. Lag won't matter. Yeah, you're right. Branko, you try to explain that to everybody who's looking to the video for the cues. No. boy. Like, fuck, I didn't have time to answer. So people want to, people have indicated, I guess this is your way of telling me that you, a little bit later in the show, want to play games. I don't have a guest tonight, so anything goes. A Pepsi? Oh, yeah, he did. You're right, Steven. Yeah, he was, but he looks nothing like the Jenner chick. He's an ugly-ass motherfucker at work. But I guess, and it wasn't a Pepsi, it was a Mountain Dew, but I could see the parallel you're trying to draw to that commercial. For the record, I like him a lot better, and I like the stupid. What's the kid, the girl's name in the Pepsi commercial?
Kylie Jenner.
Is it that whole fucking family disgusts me, man?
Did you see the picture on Twitter? When there was, I think it was riots in California or what? No, there was things going on in California, and there's a picture of a guy holding a can of Pepsi up to a bunch of police officers.
Somebody took that and ran with it. Did they fucking the people said that the Pepsi commercial was no bueno. That it was
just a little.
I don't know. Maybe it was culturally insensitive or something.
If a can of soda is going to stop people from fighting, it's going to be like Fanta or something. Not
everybody.
Pepsi.
I am so sick of the fucking sensitivity by everybody in this fucking country anymore. Everybody's offended by everything. I think I have a story about this in here somewhere.
Well, did you see what Heineken did with their latest commercial?
No.
So the point of the Pepsi thing from a PR perspective was, and I guess maybe it definitely didn't come off that way, was bringing people together. We're trying to bring people together, from two different sides and stop the violence and whatnot. And it came off as rich girl Kylie Jenner brings a Coke to a cop, and all of a sudden everything's better. Which got skewered, and which is awesome.
How anybody interpreted that as anything other than what it's supposed to be is amazing to me. Please go ahead, Flash. I'm sorry.
So Heineken did this commercial that I think it was more of a internet commercial than it's going to be TV, but it took people. I think it was 3 different groups, like a guy, like a racist and a feminist, a transgender and a guy who's very much against transgender and stuff like that. It showed them, they didn't know who they were. They first were tasked to, as a team building exercise, to build a bar, and it took like 6 pieces, and they had to kind of arrange it. Then they played video of each person telling about who they are and what they believe, it was the feminist and the sexist. That's what it was. And then a racist and a transgender person. And they actually had them watch each other say those things, and then they were given the option, and they kind of do this with the subtext or the text on the screen. They were given the option to either leave or stay and talk about it and have a beer. And of course, for the commercial, everyone stayed and they talked.
Of course.
But if you watch the whole thing, which I highly suggest it actually did a good job of showing different people from different perspectives, actually sitting down and talking instead of just magically Pepsi solves it. it was the, like, if you take what the intent for both of these commercials were, Heineken like Aaron judged it out at the park. Like, they rocked it. Pepsi, on the other hand, they use someone who's famous, who has done nothing to become famous, comes from a rich family, and now has a Pepsi and goes to a cop going, "Hey, guys, I got this. Pepsi."
The people are so sensitive to have read something into that, and then in turn be offended by what they read into it is hilarious to me, because the commercial was just here's a Pepsi, everybody settle the fuck down, and now it's turned into something that it's not, and Pepsi pulled the commercial, and it's this big controversy because everybody gets upset about every little thing. If you are so concerned about something that is that far out of your lane, the chances are you probably don't have a job to go to or something like that. Just fucking, it's just a goddamn commercial. Who's sitting and watching commercials? The commercials come on, you get up and you go, refill your...
Who watches commercials these days? I watch Netflix and Hulu. There's really no commercials except the very select few.
Jesus.
But The best part is that Pepsi was only the start of a string of best PR practices ever. And that includes United beating the hell out of the guy on the plane,
boy.
someone filming it, and then totally their crisis communication people went, it'll be all right. And then Sean Spicer coming out and saying, well, Hitler never gassed his own people. So for public affairs, PR, like anyone who's not in that line of fire was laughing their asses off. I in my circle of PA people were just destroying them because a lot of the stuff they did is stuff we train both in the Army and since I'm in the reserves now with my civilian job, stuff we practice and train and prepare for. They went, fuck it.
It's always fun to see.
The fact that Sean Spicer still goes out there every day,
right?
Who is a defense information grad. He's I think he's like a reserve component Navy chief or whatnot, but is DIMPOS trained,
he's an
which
officer,
makes all
dude.
of us DIMPOS. I know, and it makes all the people who are DIMPOS trained go, well, shit. Can we remove his credentials from him? I'm sorry. And then United just like, fuck it. We'll just let it go.
and
then they killed Simon the Big Rabbit.
They killed the rabbit.
Oh, shit, shut up. Don't talk about the rabbit.
And then they cremate the rabbit too without permission.
They were trying to and it was a giant rabbit, which freaks out one of my colleagues in my civilian job. The thought of giant rabbits freak her out. But the fact that they went, shit, we killed the rabbit and it's a famous rabbit. Burn it. Just burn it now.
Get rid of the evidence.
I mean, their stock after the incident, their stock dropped like a couple $1 billion? Like it was just like
airlines.
It tanked like a Led Zeppelin and shit.
The other airlines are laughing all the way to the bank. Thanks for taking one for the team, United. We appreciate all.
I tell you what, Pepsi was. I guarantee Pepsi sent United a care package for, hey, thanks for taking a lot of spotlight off of us. And then Sean Spicer comes out, hold my beer.
Yeah, right.
I got this. Oh my God! It's just like I'm just.
Hitler didn't even use chemical weapons, really.
And then he went. Okay, so he made the statement. I got that. It happens. I've had to make statements to reporters and stuff like that, and have flubbed something. But usually I'm smart enough to catch it and go, hold on, I've given you wrong information. Let me correct it. He was lucky enough. He had somebody who went, hey, you said something that was kind of suspect. Do you want to correct yourself? And when he corrected himself, he went and made it worse.
Yeah.
It took him 3 tries to finally get it to finally say what he was wanted to say.
I get what he was trying to say. I do.
I got what he wanted to say. Like I understood. It's just what he said. I'm just like hitting like oh my God, stop talking.
If he had said, well, Hitler's troops never employed chemical weapons on the battlefield, it sounds a little different. Then
yes, other than he never used chemicals on his own people.
Yeah, then
ever.
It sounds a little different than if you say, well, but Hitler never gassed millions of Jews. It's totally different, dude. That's something that needs a little clarification. There, Sean, Navy Lieutenant Commander Sean Spicer.
Sean Spicer's messed up so much. My cousin has been trying to get me to apply for the job. He's like, you can't be worse than Sean Spicer, so go for it. But they can't, like, I tell anyone, especially when I was getting out active duty, and they said, well, who wouldn't you work for? I always said I wouldn't work for the VA, Planned Parenthood, and the White House, because none of them could afford me to take sabo rounds to the face all day for their shenanigans.
Idiots.
Oh my God! And the VA is actually they're there. I think there's a public affairs type job in North Carolina. And my buddy's like, oh, you should apply. I went, hell no.
No. Gotcha.
Let me go punch myself in the nuts all day. That'd be more enjoyable.
It's top of the hour, everybody. Let's take a break. Yeah, there's a delay. Sorry, guys, about that. We'll come back and we'll do more discussion. I got a couple more current events things to talk about. Hope everybody's enjoying this. While we're on the break, if you guys want to figure out what games you want to play, if you want to play any games tonight, let me know. I am monitoring the Facebook live chat, and you can always send stuff to my inbox on the Redleg page. I read that sometimes. Let me pull my notes up because there's one more thing I want to tell you guys. May 19th through 21st, some of us are going to be at War Horses for Vets in Kansas. It's right outside of Kansas City. Pie, Cause, Jay Reddy, Mom, Minx, Bobby, and myself will be out there. We're going to do some live broadcast, and if you're in the area, let us know. Maybe we can have some drinks or something. I mean, I quit drinking. I may have a beer with the WTF Nation
tea.
Radio crew. Maybe. Just because, we're all together. Well, not all of us, but I better take this break before I fuck up anything else. Don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be right back.
What's up, guys? This is Matt Best, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio. So listen the fuck in.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
We're back, everybody. We're just, I wasn't talking much during the break, but when I sat back down and put my my monitors back in my ears, I heard him talking about 1st Cavalry Division, DeVarty. This is my old stomping grounds. When Colonel Ray Odierno was a DeVarty commander. Kaz remembers that because Kaz was there at the same time, or not the exact same time, but I think Kaz and I were at Fort Hood together for like a couple of months before he moved on, and I was there for a couple of years before I went to Korea. I was in 382, 3rd Battalion, 82nd Field Artillery, and I think that the 382 is no more. I think they're 1st or 2nd of the 16th or some weirdo shit now. I don't know why they did that, but I know 282 is still there. Whatever. Memories. That was a long time ago, dude. That was a lifetime ago. I got to Fort Hood in January of 1995.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah, I know.
Damn, I was like
It's amazing.
borderline graduating high school at that point.
Dude, it's amazing I'm this good looking at my age. I don't know how I don't. It's just good genes, I guess.
Lots of makeup.
Fuck you, dude. I don't have any makeup on. What are you talking about? I probably should put something on his head, though.
We
right?
already know you. We already know you wax your eyebrows and turtle
Hey,
wax
here
your
we go
head. I
again.
mean,
I
I'm
do none
assuming
of
you put
those.
on.
You guys are gonna keep fucking with me. I'm gonna listen. I've got a person. I have a friend who would enjoy nothing more than coming to your house and like knocking the headlights out of your car. So
I could use some insurance money.
where is this dude?
That would be me.
I'll get Jay ready after you. Keep fucking with me. I'll get Jay.
Well,
ready
hell, I
after
already
you.
told Pooky where I live now. Damn.
There you go, man.
Jay Ready doesn't like people fucking with me.
All I have to do is put an emu out front at the front of my house, and then J Ray won't be able to come by.
He's got emus
but I'm
that
not scared of birds, so there you go.
He's got emus and ostriches that do PSD work roaming his front yard of his house. Damn, I didn't think about that.
That shit there was epic.
I didn't think about that. Jay Reddy's bird phobia. Well, but in Jay Reddy's defense, those are grotesquely large birds.
They're monster birds. They're practically dinosaurs.
That's freakish. Oof. Yeah, Kaz says he remembers. And the reason that Kaz and I got to talking about it was there was a helicopter that went down not long after I got there. It was a Chinook.
Is that the one that had a general in it?
And I don't remember.
I know what you're talking about.
It was over. Damn it, Kaz is gonna have to help me out here. Not Nolanville. Was it Nolanville? Somewhere in the Fort Hood area, it went down. Yeah. But it killed everybody on board. Kaz remembers that because he was in aviation at Fort Hood. And
he had the nice barracks.
282's downrange, 182 is still a joke. And 382 is no mas. That's crazy, man.
Well, you heard the 182 commander got relieved.
But really?
What is it? Oh, what was his name? I've interviewed him a couple of times.
Relief for cause?
I forget. He did something stupid, and then he got relieved. But he actually used to be in a rock band, too.
Google search initiate. Let me see what I can dig up on 182.
182 is all kind, Dragon, all kinds of a big joke.
Yeah, we were the Red Dragons. Here's the Alpha 182 FRG Facebook page. I don't know, dude. There's so much stuff.
Of course, you'd find a FRG page first.
It's the first thing that pops up. Well, actually, it's the second thing. The first thing that pops up is 182 Field Artillery Facebook page, and then the FRG page. Which I didn't know anything about FRGs and crap listen, I had been 18 years old for like a month when I arrived at Fort Hood. I turned 18 in November of whatever year that was. Not 2004. Jesus Christ, 1994. I turned 18 in AIT phase of my OSUT and then graduated in December and then went to fucking Fort Hood in January. Yeah, it was in Florence. Thank you, Cos. Florence is where that helicopter went down. Fuck, dude. I was a young man. I was a kid. Who are you kidding? I got there as a young PFC and didn't know what the fuck to do. And then immediately went to the field. All these happens with me.
The field sucks out of Fort Hood, man.
Same thing, dude. When I went to Korea, my unit was in the field. When I got to Fort Hood, my unit was in the field. Lieutenant Colonel Hayes.
There you go. Colonel Hayes.
Cos says it was a maintenance test flight. The combining gearbox took a shit and the helicopter chopped itself to pieces.
Ooh.
That's terrible. Again, though, I mean, it was terrible, but didn't we talk early in the show about the inherent dangers of being a United States Army soldier?
Yeah,
no, exactly. Hey, right there.
Shit happens all the time.
It does. Let me take
shit
an opportunity
happens. You can't stop shit from happening.
Take an opportunity to tell everybody about what we got coming up on WTF Nation Radio in the coming weeks. Tomorrow night on Tied Up Tuesday with Cuffs and Minks, or is that Minks and Cuffs? I don't guess they care. Earl Granville is going to be on the show. He's a combat wounded leg amputee and an adaptive athlete who also brings awareness to the public about the mental health struggles in today's military. He served 9 years with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard as an infantryman and deployed to both Iraq and Afghanistan. He recently finished the 2017 Boston Marathon while carrying his friend Andy across the finish line. I know you guys have seen that picture.
He's a beast.
A beast. So that's Tuesday on Tied Up Tuesdays with Minks and Cuffs. And Cuffs and Minks. Two very lovely ladies who have a radio show here on WTF Nation Radio.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Very, very lovely lady.
They're setting the bar kind of high. and then you got people that look like me. On Friday, on my show on Friday Night Freedom, Mark and Terry from Sprout Health Group and Frontline Responder Services. It's a lot of stuff to read, so you guys just take my word for it. They're good dudes. They're into some good stuff. It deals a lot with treatment for substance abuse, addiction, alcoholism, PTSD, mental health. Terry has been in recovery himself for 32 years. He's a Vietnam veteran. And Mark is nationally recognized in crisis stress intervention through the American Academy of Experts in Traumatic Stress. And he's helped hundreds of firefighters, police officers, veterans, and EMS personnel. So, good dudes doing a good mission. They're going to be on with me on Friday.
Damn right.
Damn right. And then Monday, May the 8th, Officer Anne-Marie Carrizales. She's a Marine Corps veteran, has over 13 years of military and civilian law enforcement experience. And here's a brief synopsis of her story. In October of 2013, she was shot twice at point-blank range, and one of those shots hit her in the face. Even after she was shot twice at point-blank range, one time in the face, she got in her car and pursued the suspects for over 20 fucking miles.
That's a fucking trooper right there, man.
She now speaks out about her experiences and dealing with PTSD at events in hopes of inspiring other law enforcement officers to remain in the fight, remind them that no one fights alone. So that's coming up a week from today. And then on Friday, am I the only person getting any goddamn guests in the next 2 weeks?
They only want to talk to you, beautiful bald head.
Jesus. I'm not complaining. On Friday, May 12th, Adam Simon, writer of Man Down. He wrote the script for the movie Man Down. Movie's about a homeless veteran that Adam met while he himself was homeless with 2 kids. Adam's coming on the show to talk about how he wrote the script and how he advocates for homeless veterans.
He's a great guy.
Yeah. WTF Nation Radio making big moves here. So all these shows, and when I say all these shows, We have a show 7 nights a week. They all start at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern because, right now you're listening to the Monday edition. Tomorrow night it'll be Tied Up Tuesdays with Minks and Cuffs. And then Wednesdays, What the Fuck Wednesday with Jim Beam. Thursday, Sergeant's Time with Ice and all the people. There's a lot of co-hosts on that show.
All the people.
All the people. Ice and Doc Madness, Gray Cloud. Who am I leaving out? All the people.
Jay Reddy.
Jay Reddy doesn't co-host on Sergeant's Time, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Friday's my other show, Friday Night Freedom. Saturday, that's Jay Reddy. Saturday night, well, Jay Reddy's on What the Fuck Wednesdays with Jim Beam too, but Saturday.
Jay Reddy's on like all shows.
Well, Jay Reddy does his Jay Reddy stuff. Saturday Night Savagery, that's Jay Reddy, and if I'm not mistaken, Pooky.
Yeah, there you go.
That guy right there. Sunday, The Green Room. The Green Room starts at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, just like everything else does. Jason and Charlie talking about they don't spend 2 hours talking about marijuana. They talk a lot about marijuana.
Well, they do, but they don't.
I mean, it's an interesting, the way they do the show is interesting. And I say that because you wouldn't think that there's an interesting way to talk about marijuana for 2 hours a week after week after week. And it would be unfair of me to say that's what they do because it's not what they do. They're huge advocates for marijuana for both medicinal and recreational purposes, something I have absolutely no problem with. And they talk a lot about its benefits as an alternative to what Big Pharma's selling you and all the stuff that the VA's giving you. By the way, I got some shit from the VA today too. What's this stuff called? Somebody help me out here.
Rogaine?
What was that? Oh,
Gabapentin?
Gabapentin. Rogaine. Yeah, gabapentin. I haven't taken any yet. It's supposed to do things.
What's Gab?
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Don't take it.
What? Trazodone. I got some of that too. Don't take the
Don't
gabapentin.
take that nasty stuff.
I don't take most of that shit, dude. I've got a
Start calling you Candyman.
I got a whole bunch of this crap. Everything from omeprazole to meloxicam to, I'm trying to name these from memory. What the fuck is that other crap? Atorvastatin. I do take that one. That's my cholesterol medication. I have this genetic cholesterol shit. My cholesterol is fucking astronomical. Since my early 20s.
Oh, I thought I was the only person in the world with that.
Dude. My shit's in the upper 200s, lower 300s.
Yeah, I'm about there right now.
That's crazy, man, and has been that way since my early 20s. It's kind of gross that my cholesterol's that high.
Do you like cheese?
Yeah. I like all the bad stuff. Who doesn't? I'm getting fat as fuck too, man. I am like 2 pounds away from being 200 pounds. I'm only 5'10". I weigh almost 200
Dude,
pounds.
I'm like 215 pounds right now, and I'm like 5'10", so I'm a fat ass.
I need to get on it. I guess I need to get on that methamphetamine diet. I hear that melts the pounds away pretty quick.
Yeah, it does it.
No fucking way, man. There's no way I would ever put that shit in my body. I've seen how it's made.
Yeah, if you can make it in your trailer, nope.
Shake it up in the Mountain Dew bottle out here in the backyard. But what was I talking about? Oh, The Green Room. No, good. It's a good show. Those two dudes. No, I didn't realize until I got into talking to these guys, Jason and Charlie. I didn't know there was that much difference. But I mean, different strains of marijuana, different ways to use it. It's a good show. I'll just leave it at that. So tune in Sunday night at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern for The Green Room and all the other shows that I mentioned. Also 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. When we're not being lazy shitbags and we actually put them out there, there's podcasts available on our official website at WTFNationRadio.com. Also, you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, on Stitcher, on TuneIn Radio, on what's the other thing? Google something or other. That's the podcast.
The
And then-
twits.
And then I guess there's other crap too. We play video games and stuff also. Oh, no, the radio station Facebook page. Yeah, there's that. Facebook.com/ what? I heard that. Facebook.com/ WTF Nation Radio or WTFNR. I'm terrible at this. I'm not a very good radio host, everybody. You'd think all this free time I have on my hands, I'd be well prepared for every show, but nope.
We can get you a big old whiteboard. You can just write all this stuff down, just read it off.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
I used to do it. Did that in Afghanistan.
That's a Butterbar's idea right there. Don't do it.
I'll have to find somewhere to put it in here amongst all these electronic devices. I don't know. Did we ever come to a consensus about when to start the fucking party games? Am I supposed to start them in 4 minutes or in 34 minutes? I don't know.
Well, if you want to start the party games, go for it, man. It's your prerogative.
I'm thinking, well, yeah, because I'm thinking that everybody's just here for the games and not here for me. Maybe.
I doubt that.
I don't know. What's going on in the live chat? WTFNationRadio.com. Redbeard. Oh, I get what you're doing in there. Ha ha ha. That's very funny. Okay. Command decision time. I'm going to take a break, and all the videos are going to stop, and then we'll come back and we'll kick off Guespionage, I suppose. You guys talk to me into
Do the drawful.
Don't have
Do the drawful.
if we do drawful, it's going to be last, because that's what we started with last time. And we did not get to play Guespionage Friday night. So we'll do it. We'll play the games. How about that?
All right, I'm there. I'll be there.
Everybody,
I'll see you all
okay with
there.
that? So
I'll be there.
gonna restart the Facebook Live video, and it's gonna be some minutes before it starts. So everybody, just hang out.
Don't panic.
Yeah, don't panic. It will be back. The video will, and we'll play games. And before we get it started, I'll explain to everybody how to do it. This is easy. I'm trying to make this as easy for all of you as I possibly can, because I aim to please. Here we go. Break time. We'll be back. Don't leave. WTF Nation Radio.